My name is Ashley Fowler and I go to St. Anselm College in Manchester. I am a social work major, sociology, and a gender studies minor. I chose St. Anselm College because of the environment. I went to the campus and it was beautiful. The people were amazing there. They were so friendly, and it was a very small community, which was definitely one of the things I was looking for in a school. So the fact that it had all of those things really made me drawn to it. I'm actually the oldest, one of 5. My younger siblings, there's a pretty big age gap with us, and I am the first one in my family to go to college. My parents have a little bit of a college education, but they never graduated, so I'm the first one, and they're pretty proud of me, which is a great feeling. Well, it was a little bit of a challenge just because since I am one of 5, it's a little financial reasons definitely get in the way of my college education. I can't afford to do it on my own, and my parents can't afford it right now either. So it's something that I really did want, so it was a little bit of a struggle to be able to do that, and I was also the first one, so we hadn't really known how to get that process going and stuff like that. So, well, I was doing the FAFSA form and everything, so we knew that I needed to get financial aid to be able to go at all, and it was an issue of co-signing and everything like that, and luckily I have a really great family, so my Nana was able to help me the first year, and then afterwards my mom saw how much I really was loving school and how much I was committed to it, so she was able to do it later on for me. She was a little hesitant at first, but she was able to co-sign for me later on, so that was helpful. Well, one of the things I did really regret at first was I was a little stubborn in my decision for what school I wanted to go to. I wanted to go to St. A's, and I didn't want to budge on that, and so as much as my family tried to kind of push me in another direction, they were still supportive when I said this is where I want to go, and I'll do whatever I need to do and if I had to pay a little more in the long run or something like that, it'll be worth it to me in the end, because I'm going to do something that I like in an environment that I like. I'm going to study something that I'm passionate about, so that's definitely what I was looking for. And junior year was a little crazy. Going part-time was definitely something that was helpful for me, and I kind of wish I had done it from the beginning, because I really wanted to live on campus as a freshman, and that was, again, me being a little stubborn, so I was willing to co-sign and have to pay for that later on, and that's a decision I made. But I cut my tuition costs like 1/3 going part-time junior year, and that was so helpful in the long run, and I just wish I had maybe done it sophomore as well as junior year, and then senior year I wanted to graduate on time with my friends, so again I was full-time this year. So I think in between sometimes you have to deal with what you're given, and you can find a way around it if you're really willing to work harder. I had to take a couple summer courses just to make up for the credits that I had from going part-time junior year, so I did have to make up some summer courses, but in the long run it was so much easier for me, and it's a lot cheaper, and it's a lot more reasonable, and I just wish I had kind of done it from the beginning, because you get the best of both worlds. You can go and you don't have to pay an arm or a leg to do it, so it was pretty cool. Well, one of the things I did really regret at first was I was a little stubborn in my decision for what school I wanted to go to. I wanted to go to St. A's, and I didn't want to budge on that, and so as much as my family tried to kind of push me in another direction, they were still supportive when I said this is where I want to go, and I'll do whatever I need to do and if I had to pay a little more in the long run or something like that, it'll be worth it to me in the end, because I'm going to do something that I like in an environment that I like. I'm going to study something that I'm passionate about, so that's definitely what I was looking for. And junior year was a little crazy. Going part-time was definitely something that was helpful for me, and I kind of wish I had done it from the beginning, because I really wanted to live on campus as a freshman, and that was, again, me being a little stubborn, so I was willing to co-sign and have to pay for that later on, and that's a decision I made. But I cut my tuition costs like 1/3 going part-time junior year, and that was so helpful in the long run, and I just wish I had maybe done it sophomore as well as junior year, and then senior year I wanted to graduate on time with my friends, so again I was full-time this year. So I think in between sometimes you have to deal with what you're given, and you can find a way around it if you're really willing to work harder. I had to take a couple summer courses just to make up for the credits that I had from going part-time junior year. So I did have to make up some summer courses, but in the long run it was so much easier for me, and it's a lot cheaper and it's a lot more reasonable. And I just wish I had kind of done it from the beginning, because you get the best of both worlds. You can go and you don't have to pay an arm or a leg to do it, so it was pretty cool. Well, to be honest, I didn't really think about college in high school as much as when I started to get a little older, and my friends, I noticed, everyone around me was going, and I knew that I didn't want to be left behind in that, and I knew that, I don't think I realized the extent of how important it is for you. I kind of assumed I'd always go, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't know where I wanted to go, and that was really difficult. So I wish I kind of had thought about it earlier just to get a better idea before, just to have an idea where I wanted to go in the future. So for somebody like that, I would say that you should start looking at something early and think about what your options are, because, you can go anywhere and do anything, and you just have to kind of make your own path to do so, and sometimes it takes a little while to do that. So it's definitely a good thing to get a head start. When I went to college, my mother was so scared for me to go to Manchester. To be honest, she was nervous for me, because I haven't experienced anything like living by myself, just with your peer groups and stuff like that. Like, you're living with your parents and they're looking after you and everything like that. So I think that worried my parents a lot. And my mother was actually like first generation, so I'm second, so in her case. And, she had some of those fears from the beginning, just of me maybe not being old enough, or as experienced as I could be. So she was really worried for me in that aspect, but she trusted me, which was awesome, and I think it turned out pretty well. And also, my father, he was extremely nervous for me to go to school as well, but that was more of a, daddy's girl is like going off to school. He cried the first time I left, and I was only going 45 minutes away. So, I definitely experienced that with my parents. From both aspects. They were completely different in how they handled me leaving, but overall I would talk to them a lot, during the weekend, and I would go home a lot, and I still do go home a lot, because I do live close by. But I think it's always important, because you're always going to kind of miss being at home and being with them, and I think it's a good step in the direction for your future, is to kind of slowly inch yourself away instead of just doing it abruptly. So I think as long as you maintain, the relationship you have with your parents, then it definitely helps. I took a lot of social classes my sophomore year, and I think a combination of maybe like all the teachers in the social department. I share a lot of the same views as them, and I think that overall they're just great teachers, and they really try to, especially with my major, I think the reason that I'm so compelled to like be a social work major is just because I go into a class every day, and I love being there, and I love learning about stuff like that, social issues that are happening like in the world, and things you can see like right outside your front door in the community, and I feel like it's something people don't really think about on a daily basis. So the fact that all the instructors like in this department, that you can tell they feel passionate about what they're telling you, and that they, and you can tell with their personal stories that they've, worked to improve certain social conditions, and I think that's really awesome to see from them, is that they, they can tell you about it, but the fact that they've actually been there and they enjoy what they're doing and they want to teach others to be helpful and involved in the community and care about other people, I think that's a really great, contribution that they're making to the school as like a whole, because they like inspire other people to go out and do good things for other people. So I think that's all. Yeah. I do have an internship that I'm doing this spring that I'm actually working on, meeting with the directors at the YWC in Manchester. So I'm going to be doing that, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's for the domestic like hotline, for stuff like that. So I think that'll be a great experience that I'm going to have, and I think that just the community service that St. A's offers is amazing. They offer a service learning component to courses where you go out in the community and you do work in the community, and I just think I've done that actually for the last couple years, every semester usually with a course, and I just think that option to be able to do that is great, because I've met awesome people where I've gone into an organization like Girls Inc. and I've met with the girls in the community and I've talked to them, and my roommate actually works there. So the fact that you see these people around you just so involved in stuff like that, I think is really awesome, and I think I walk away as a better person because of having done stuff like that. So I think that becoming involved is really great. I think college is worth the investment in the long run. You know, you're investing in your future when you do stuff like this, and I don't want to look back in 20 years on my life and say, oh, I didn't do this and I wish I had. I wish I had gone and understood something a little better and gained knowledge in a certain area that I love. So I feel like if you don't make that investment at some point in your life, then you're going to regret doing it, and I think that now is the perfect time for me to do that. There are actually at St. A's a lot of things that are provided for you that I didn't really take advantage of as much as I could have freshman year. You know, there's tons of clubs and organizations, first of all, and then we have our Academic Resource Center, the library, where I've been spending my time lately, studying for exams, and, you know, they provide computers for you. You can do endless printing, like, anytime you want to, so even the fact that I didn't have a laptop right away when I went to school, those places were available for me to do my work and get it done, so it's just a matter of going and finding out where they were and, you know, accessing them, and then I was able to do everything I needed. So it wasn't that I needed to spend tons of money on, you know, my own printer, my own laptop right away. Like, I can wait for those things because my campus does provide stuff like that, which is really helpful. I think my group of friends, who I've had since freshman year actually, they're still my really good friends and we're roommates this year, have definitely helped me you know, learn how to kind of gain those study skills, which I may not have gone into college with as much. High school is a little bit easier, so college is difficult for people, but I think that as long as you learn your way around, you know what I mean? You learn your way around and you're capable of doing stuff like that. You just have to find the thing that works best for you. So for me, going in freshman year, I didn't do as well as I've done, you know, now, because I have learned how to study. I've learned how to take good notes, and I've learned what teachers are looking for in terms of if you're writing papers or if you have exams and stuff, and how much time, you know how much time you're going to need to learn information if you're not familiar with it, you know. So I think that just, you know, recognizing that you do need to work a little bit harder towards something, it pays off in the long run, and it feels really great to get decent grades and know that you worked hard for them. So I think just knowing yourself enough to know, you know, oh, should I go out and do this, or like, should I really just work on this paper? I know it's important. Like my friends, they went out last night celebrating before exam week, and I stayed in and wrote a 10-page paper. So, you know, I think that in situations like that, it's like, do I want to regret not turning this in and, you know, not receiving all the credit I could get? You know, your friends are always going to be there, and there's always going to be something fun to do later on. So I think sometimes you do need to pick and choose between those. Went in freshman year, and I think leaving high school, especially for me, I think of myself as pretty social, but it's overwhelming when you're going into a college environment, and you're seeing all these people your age from tons of different places, and I think that that is hard sometimes, you know, to socialize and be yourself without, you know, compromising, you know, who you really are. So I think that once you meet that group of friends that you really care about, I think that it fits just right. Like my friends I met freshman year, and we're still roommates, we're still friends, and I haven't lost any of them. So just the fact that I went in there and, you know, realized that everybody else is just as nervous as me, you know, and you need to find people that you get along with. Like in your classes, you'll meet tons of people if you join organizations, and I think that just using those as like outlets to kind of push yourself in like social situations definitely helps, and you will make really great friendships. I know that with my friends, like, you know, they're amazing to have around, and I never, you know, get bored of them, or, you know, you don't want to be with them while I'm at school. And I know that our friendships are going to go way past college because we just, you know, we've become such an important part of each other's lives, and they're amazing. So my name is Ashley, and I believe that every student can be college bound.